All right, I think I'm live. For anyone watching this, I tried a couple of days ago and it was like all screwed up. I think now it should be fine. Yeah, I think I'm talking to myself for now, but that's okay. So I just wanted to talk about a few things that are going on this month for anyone that's watching this. This month I'm going to be streaming at least 60 hours of myself on YouTube and Twitch. I haven't decided which platform I'm going to stick with. So for now, I'm going to start with YouTube just because I have like more of an audience on YouTube. And I'm probably going to try Twitch out like every other day. Unless I decide that Twitch is a lot better and then I just switch over to Twitch for this bet that I have. So one of my friends bet that we made a bet, me and my friend, that I would have to stream for at least 60 hours and he has to do something else. Otherwise, we have to give each other a bunch of money if we fail. So already I'm behind. I was hoping to be at 6 hours after today, and I'm still at 0. So we have some catching up to do. But I had some issues the other day, and the issues were caused by my computer overheating. So if you hear that murmur right now in the background, that's my AC going. I need to have the AC on because this laptop just cannot handle all the things going on at once. The stream, the second monitor, everything going on. So right now I'm using one monitor. I'm forced to basically use one monitor and not be able to do anything else really other than stream and maybe have a couple of things open. So I have the chat open if anyone has any questions. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna get started with coding. So just so you know, I'm also looking at my looking at the Intel Power Gadget. Actually, you cannot see my screen right now. Let me show you my screen. So there you go. You can see my Intel Power Gadget. I'm looking to see how the frequency is. This is a 2.6 gigahertz computer, and right now it's running at 2.5. And I'm watching the temperature, I'm watching the frequency, because a couple of days ago, what was happening was as soon as I would start streaming, it would drop to 1 gigahertz. Because it was throttling down because the temperature was getting too high. So now I don't have my second monitor connected. I have the AC on, and I'm trying to make sure that this stays within reason over here. So if you are just joining, just feel free to talk in the chat, be respectful, obviously. Other than that, I'm just going to be coding and learning how to code and doing stuff for myself. So without further ado, let's begin the count up timer. So because I have to get to 60 hours, I want to be able to scrub through the video for all 60 hours if I wanted to. If I wanted to do a huge 60-hour time lapse, I would want to have all the video for that. And also be able to see where I'm at. So I think I should have a count up timer going starting right now. Let's see if it goes. There it goes. Okay, so on the bottom right of the screen, we're going to have the count up timer. So I'm going until I get to 60 hours at least this month, or I'm going to die trying, basically. The issue right now I have with this app that I'm using is that whenever I start it to count up, it starts at 0. So after today, I won't be able to use this app unless I want to start at 0 every single stream, which is not what I want. And I looked and I searched and I could not find any apps that would allow me to pick the time to start at. So I think that means it's a good first app to create. It'll be a good app to, that's something I should make. I should make an app that will allow me to set the timer, whatever time I want to start it, hit start, and then it'll go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use JavaScript for this. I haven't touched JavaScript in about a month or so, so I'm going to be a little bit rusty. I've been doing a lot of Swift lately, so yeah, I'm going to be doing Swift on this stream also if anyone wants to pay attention to that. So making iOS apps. I've been doing that for about the last month and really enjoying it. So, but today, for this stream, for this first stream, I think it makes sense to create a count up timer. That I can choose what time to start at. Because I don't think anything like that exists. So sometimes you got to build your own solutions to these problems. Hey Mark, I see you in the stream or in the chat. How's it working now? So hopefully I'm not choppy and it's kind of clear. You could hear me well, and let me know, Mark. Let me know if it sounds better, if it looks a little bit better. I know you may not have seen the beginning, but basically I had to remove my second monitor. I have to have the AC on, and I can't have too many things open on my computer because it's overheating, and that was the issue. I almost bought a new computer actually just for this, because this whole month I'm going to be streaming because I have a bet going on. All right, awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear that it's all good. Yeah, so I have a bet going on with one of my friends. I have to stream for at least 60 hours this month, but I can't. I basically, like, my MacBook Pro can't handle it unless I'm just using this one monitor and I'm, like, very selective. I also showed that I'm watching the temperatures here. Like, you could see, like, for no reason the frequency's dropping. Like, I mean, it's not that there's no reason. The computer thinks that it's like overheating or needs a lot of power and it's heating up, so it slows down. So that's kind of annoying. I have my eye on that, but so far so good. I did a few test streams over the last couple days, and it seems like that this should work. So yeah, so feel free to stay, chat, or not. Either way, I have to stream because I have this bet going on with my friend. So I'm going to try to build a Countup timer in JavaScript, because right now the timer that I have at the bottom right of the screen, I can't start it at 60 hours. Sorry, I can't, like, let's say I stream for an hour. I can't start tomorrow at 1 hour. I have to start it at 0 again. And that's not what I want. So I'm going to have to build my own. Okay, so where do we start? I haven't done JavaScript in a while. Let's start with searching for something with Node. So the way that OBS works, OBS is what I'm using to broadcast this. Oh, I'm also going to be like coding out loud and thinking out loud. So hopefully this helps out someone. Hopefully it helps someone see how to like think through these problems. I know that Node lets you. Let me open it up first and then start talking. So Node is what allows you to use JavaScript outside of the browser. So normally JavaScript was created as like the programming language of the web, but it was meant to be run inside of a browser like Chrome or Internet Explorer. But what someone did in 2009, this guy named Ryan Dahl, I think, he created a way to use JavaScript outside of the browser as your programming language, and he called it Node. So let's see, Mark, what's going on? Well, for the past month, I've been working on doing JavaScript programs and learning daily through a program. Awesome, sounds good. If you ever feel like sharing, Mark, sharing whatever you're working on, or if you get stuck, let me know, and I'll help out. So Node lets you run JavaScript outside of the browser as if it was a program. I mean, it is a programming language, but so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use Node, and I know that Node allows you to write files. So the way that people display like timers or text in their streams is that they have a text file that OBS is reading from, and it's displaying on the screen. So I have an app that I'm using right now, but I'm going to create my own. I have an app that right now, every single second, it's updating that text file and just changing the amount of time there to the next second, basically. And then OBS is reading from that text file and displaying it on the screen. So I have to create something that can save to a text file and also will allow me to basically start from a certain point in time. So maybe it'll have like what are they called? I think they're called like flags. It'll allow me to put an input in JavaScript so that I could start at a certain point in time and continue from there. Okay, so I already have Node installed and all that stuff, but I should look at the docs because I don't remember exactly. I know you can, I just don't remember exactly how to save or write to a file. So I think I'm going to look in the API, and there's going to be, I think it's called like FS something, or file stream, or file something. File system, maybe. Maybe that's what it is, file system. Let's see. It's one of these. You know what? Why am I looking at the actual API? Let me just Google search this. Node.js file, write to text file. So that's what I'm going to just Google. And let's see, I'm going to open up a couple of these, check out which one might be the best way to do it. Okay, so how do we write files in Node? We're going to use FS, the file system, and we're going to use the write file method. I used Node.js once to create a bot for Discord using their API. Yep, nice. Yeah, Node is amazing. I mean, Node, being able to use JavaScript outside of the browser is just unreal. It's just so much fun. It's great. Okay, so let's see. So what we have to do, so this is how we could write a file. Okay, so we got to first get fs in there. So we have to import the file system thing. Okay, if we purposely want to cause an error, no, I don't want that. Let's see, let me read some other ones. Fs module, write file. So write file is probably going to be the method the function that allows us to write to a specific text file. And then I'm going to have OBS read from that text file. So I gotta, once I get this working, I'll actually, why don't we try getting it working right now? Let's do what it said. So const fs, we have to require the fs, and fs is a built-in module. I have to save this actually. So this is going to, let's save it on the desktop, and we'll save it as, I don't know, Countup timer.js. All right, so now the way that this works, the way that it works when you're doing Node outside of the browser, is I can open up my terminal, go to the desktop, and I could run this code. Actually, let me show you how to do that. Before I even do any of that, console.log hello world. So for anyone that's like just seeing Node for the first time, I can run my JavaScript by going to my terminal. So I'm using a command line interface to do this. And I'm going to be running this file. So I created a countup timer.js file. That's what I saved it as on my desktop. And to run it, once I'm in the right folder, that's why I had to change directory and I went to the desktop, I am going to type in node and then the name of the file. So countup timer.js. And you could leave off the JS because Node knows that it can only read JavaScript. So once I run this, it's going to say hello world because that's exactly what I have in my code right now. Okay, but I don't want to just say hello world. I want to create a file, write to a file first. And so let's start doing that. So it looks like the write file method was what I needed to use. So write file, what's the difference between that and the write file sync? Synchronously writes data to a file, replacing the file if it already exists. Okay, so synchronously means that it'll get stuck. Like if you ask it to do a lot of things, it's going to get stuck on that line basically. It's not going to go on to the next step until it finishes every single line. So let's just use write file, do it asynchronously, meaning that if there's like a delay, it'll continue on to the next thing and then finish up the write file in the background, basically. Kind of. Okay, so let's use the write file. I need to know what parameters we need to put in there, what arguments it's taking, sorry. Okay, so the path. So let's write file and call it, let's do a hello.text. And then the data is a string. We have to pass it a string, it looks like. Let me go back to my, yes. So I can write a string. So let me just create a string right now, and let's call it banana string. I'll just call it banana. That's like my go-to, variable name, although this is a constant. So banana is gonna say, what's up, I'm a banana. Okay, so I want to write this to a file, and I want to get this displaying on OBS on my screen in just a minute. So I'm going to show you how to do that once I get this up and running. So I say what the file name is going to be, and then I'm going to type in, I should be able to pass banana as my input. So this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to probably have to read out of the file what's already in there, what the last second was, or the time that it last was at, and then continue from there. But just to get this up and running, let's see if this works. I'm going to save this. Let's run it. So node, actually I could just hit the up button, hit return, and we have an issue. Okay, so what happened? Invalid callback. So I'm probably using this wrong. So I need to pass it a function, not a, not an actual string like this. So let me just pass it an anonymous function. How do we use JavaScript here? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just pass it an anonymous function like that that will return banana. Maybe this will work. Maybe, maybe not. Let me clear everything. So to clear, I'm just going to do Control L, or you could type out clear. Let's try running it again. All right, callback must be a function. All right, so I screwed this up. I'm a little rusty, I guess. Let me go back to my the code and see how people are doing this. Okay. Oh, I have to have an error. I guess I have to have another argument, an error argument, in case it gets stuck. Okay, so I have the file name. I could pass in as the second argument that's going to be the string that I'm trying to pass in. So I was okay with doing this, but then I have to pass it I have to give it a function as an input. So this is going to be my callback function. It's going to get called after, like, immediately, and then it's going to be put in a queue, and then it's going to be called back when it's ready. Okay, so for that callback function, I guess it has to catch an error. So we could catch an error. I mean, we could literally just copy paste this. So this will be my callback function. If there's an error, throws an error. So here we throw an error, and it'll tell us what the error is. Otherwise, we're going to say banana saved in the console. So let's save this, and hopefully now it'll run. Let me clear this. There we go. Banana was saved, hopefully. So now if I should be able to see the banana file on my desktop. Let me do ls. What did I name it? Hello.txt, sorry. So where is hello.txt? There's hello.txt. Okay, so to open up hello.txt, I think I could, touch creates it, I think. How do I open a file using the command line interface? So let's do, I'll just type in Linux open text file. How do I open a text file on my terminal? Cat. Okay, so maybe that'll work. Cat hello.txt. There we go. So that is what is inside of that file. What's up on my banana? So it worked. So we can write to this file. The other thing I could have done is I could have opened the Finder. Let me show you what I mean. And I could have just opened up hello.txt right here. And you can see that it says, what's up on my banana? So that was written by Node. So that was my JavaScript code doing what I wanted to do. And this is perfect because this is what I'm going to be reading from. This text file is what I'm going to be reading from using OBS. Okay. So let me think. So now instead of just writing hello I'm a banana or whatever I just put in there, what's up I'm a banana, I want to create a timer basically. So on a timer, I want to keep looping the time. Okay, so let's close some of these out. Actually, let me just make sure that this is all good. So we have the right file. That'll work. That seems okay. So let's do a JavaScript timer in Node. Node JavaScript timer. Timers in Node. So this is the actual official Node documentation. I could do a set timeout, but then I don't think it'll run every second. Set timeout basically is like a wait block from Scratch or Snap. So I want to do something repeating over and over and over again. So I want a loop, but let me think. I don't want an infinite loop because then it won't be able to break out of it. Set timeout, set interval. Set interval might be it. Actually, that sounds about right. Let me type in JavaScript set interval. Perfect. Okay, so this is, I could use set interval. The set interval method calls a function or evaluates an expression at specified intervals. Okay, it's going to continue the method until, or it's going to continue calling the function until clear interval is called, or the window's closed. So I'm just going to use set interval, I guess, and every second update the time. Let's try that. Okay, so I got to figure out how I'm going to do this timer thing, but let's just start with seconds. Seconds, we'll start it now. Const. Let's use a let because we have to update this every second. We're going to start seconds at 0, and what we'll do is every second, so we'll use set interval. Every second we're going to run this this function. So let me actually save this to, let's save this function as a variable. So let me do let write to file equal that. And now I could do write to file. And then I can do this every second. So every second I'm going to write, not banana, but I'm going to write seconds. But that's going to just put 0 every single time, so I'm not going to see a difference here. So what I want to do is, if there's an error, it's going to break out of here. But if not, I'm actually going to log out the number of seconds. And let's say seconds. There we go. So I should be able to see how many seconds were just put inside of this hello.txt file. And I'm going to update, or actually increment seconds by 1. So seconds plus plus, or plus equals 1. Okay. So let's do that. So every second, as long as this thing doesn't get stuck, every 1,000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, it's going to rewrite the hello.txt file, I believe. Let me just make sure that I'm using that correctly, the set interval function. Required the function that will be executed. Yeah, I think that let's try it. Whatever, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Let me save this. Let me clear my screen, and let's run this. So node Countup timer. Nope, can't access write to file before initialization. Let me make this a little bit smaller, just because it's hard to read on my screen. Okay, why is that not working? Write to file. So it can't access the function before it's initialized. So I think what that means is that I have to initialize the function before I run set interval on it. Probably. Let's try one more time. If this doesn't work, then I'll change it up. I'll clear this. Callback must be a function. Received undefined. Yeah, so what's happening is that, like the way that Node is reading through my JavaScript, it's that this is being set to undefined like pretty much immediately. So write to file is pretty much undefined, whereas set interval needs a function passed in, and right now it's getting undefined passed in. So I have to figure out a way to fix this. Can I just run it? Let's try this. May or may not work. It's okay if it doesn't. Write to file is not a function. That's messed up. It is a function. Okay, let me go back to this. Let me see if I can see an example of this. A function. My goodness, I'm rusty. I shouldn't have done day 1 of JavaScript after doing a month of Swift. That's all right. All right, let's try to create a function using the an old school way here. So function file writer, we'll call it. Okay, and in function file writer, I am going to call this function. Okay. I don't know if that'll work though. Maybe. It might. Let's test it out. It's working. Okay, so that is good. We're getting the seconds actually incrementing the way that we want. Okay, now to stop it, actually let me stop this for a second, because let me see what this looks like in the actual file that we're creating. Go back to my Finder. Let me open up. I meant to open up hello.txt. Okay, so it looks like it's replacing everything in there, which is not good, because if I were to run this again, it's going to clear out everything that's inside of this text file and start at 0, which is the same problem I have right now. So that's not cool. That's not what I want. So what I want to do is I want to read from the file, read whatever the number is there or the time that's in there, and then continue from then on out. So I don't want to start at, I don't want to let seconds equal 0 at the beginning every single time I run this. I really want to set it to whatever is inside of the file. So I'm going to have to read what's inside of the file. So let me Google that. So let's do node JavaScript read file. Reading a file with Node.js, blocking and non-blocking. Okay, let me just close that out. Okay, so fs.read file, and we'll see what the contents are. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this function, the fs.read file. Okay, and this is not blocking. Okay, let's try this out. We're going to read from hello.txt. Actually, I'm going to rename this. I'm going to make it, let's stick with hello for now. It doesn't really matter. The format that it's in is UTF-8, fine. We're going to pass it a callback. That's why it's asynchronous here. The first argument could be an error. If it receives an error, we have a problem. Actually, so we'll have that. We'll catch the error right here. So if there's an error, throw error. And that's what we were seeing before when I was running it and it was getting stuck. But if we don't have an error, it's going to go on to this next line. So we're going to get the contents of the file. So what I want to do is we could log it out. But I want to set seconds equal to the contents. I can't spell. Second equals to the contents. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to initialize seconds to any value. So I'm just going to say there's a variable called seconds, and I'm going to set it later on when I get to read file. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's try it out. So it should, actually, let me change what it says in the console.log. So we're starting at, I'm going to put the contents, seconds. Okay, so that's going to create a little sentence for me that says we're starting at this many number of seconds. Let's see if this works. So let me clear this out. Let's run it. We're starting at 16 seconds. Okay, and now what we can see is it looks like it's concatenating It's screwing up the seconds, the addition of the seconds. But we can check that out in a second. All right, so what's going on? Seconds, and then over here we're doing plus equals 1. So why is that not working correctly? Why is it adding 1? Oh, you know what it is? It's probably saving seconds as a string. So then when you add 1 to a string, it just keeps adding 1 to that value. So how do I make sure that seconds equals a number, or it knows that seconds equals a number? All right, see, these are the things that are tricky in JavaScript because there aren't really any types. I mean, whatever. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's the problem. I think it's reading that file as, yeah, it's reading it as UTF-8, whereas it should be seconds, or it should be a number. The encoding of the file. Okay, so how do I get the, let me do Node.js file encodings. Can we do a number? Not base 64. Let's Google Node.js encode number. Integer. uint32. Okay, not what I want. That's okay. How do I JavaScript typecast to int? So I want to take that string and just turn it into a number. Parse int. All right, so we'll use the parse int function. Okay, so we're starting at, you know what we'll do? So we'll do parse int, and we'll set seconds equal to the parse int of the contents. So that should take the value and turn it into a number, an integer. All right, let's try this. Let's see if this works. Actually, for this one, I'm going to delete the file because let me just, I got to delete the file because otherwise we're going to start at like 16 billion or trillion or whatever this is. Okay, so let me clear this out. Let's try this again. If there is nothing though, oh geez, what happens if we read the file, and there's nothing there? I'll have to probably check for that. So the base case might be, one of the cases might be that it reads from the file and there's nothing there, and that might throw an error, which is what might happen right now if I try to run it. Let's see. Yep, there's an error thrown. There's no such, oh, well that's because there's no such file. Let me create the file. So touch hello.txt. So that creates the file. Let me try running this again and seeing if we get another error. Oops, did I recreate this file? That's fine. We're starting at nothing seconds. Yeah, so because we're starting with nothing, it's just going to say not a number. That's the value we're getting. So we really should start at 0. I mean, after the first time, it won't. After the first time we run this, like on day 2, day 3, day 4, whatever, it'll be fine. But for now, we're a little stuck. we have to check to see if the contents are empty. So how can I do that? How can I check to make sure that if there's nothing there, to set seconds to 0, so that way we have a value. So let's check to see if. Okay, so let me Google node. Oops. Let me Google node empty file. Not how to create. How do we detect? How to check the file input to know if it's empty in node. Okay, that looks good. Maybe we could do that, like check to see if it equals just an empty string or empty. Maybe that'll work. So if contents equals empty, I'm going to say console.log, we're empty, yo. Hold on, let me fix my strings here. We're using the double quotes instead of the single quotes for strings. Okay, so we're empty, yo. If it's empty, else console.log something in here. This is just to test it out, to debug, and to make sure that this could, if we can detect that content is empty. Because if we can, then I'm gonna, in here, set seconds equal to 0. All right, so let's try running this again. Right now, hello is empty. It's not empty. It says NaN. So let me make it empty. Let me save this. Okay, so right now it definitely is empty. This is from the previous run. We're starting at blank seconds. We're empty, yo. Perfect. Okay, well, not perfect, but it's perfect that we are seeing this, because that means that we can detect that it's empty. So if it's empty, what we could do is we could set seconds equal to 0 in here. So if there's nothing in the file is empty, we're going to set seconds equals to 0. Otherwise, there is something in here. So let me just hit. I mean, we're not going to actually do this, but we're going to, if there is something in there, what we're going to do is we're going to set seconds equal to whatever is in there. So that's what we're going to use inside of this else. So let me save this. Let me just make sure that hello is actually empty. So let's delete what's in there. Let's hit save. And now when I run it, it should work. It starts at, I mean, it says we're starting at blank number of seconds, but that's okay. That's good enough. It only says that on the first time that we're gonna actually run this. Okay, so my timer is going up, and let's get this timer up on the screen just because I think that'll be exciting. So let me stop it for now. Control C, and I'm gonna open up the file. So we're gonna see that it's at 21 right now. So we're at 21 seconds. Let me actually, before I show what's on the screen, let me actually see if it works. If I run it from here, it should start at 21 seconds and continue up. So let me start it. Yep, we're starting at 21 seconds, and we're going from where we started. Perfect. So this is exactly what I want. I want to be able to start my timer tomorrow at like 1 hour or 2 hours or however long I go for. And yeah. Hopefully this works. Okay, so now when I stop it, that's great. Okay, so let me just clear the screen. I want to be able to display it on the screen. I want to see if it actually works. So let's go to OBS. This is going to get a little weird because I'm going to put OBS on the screen. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen and we'll go from there. So I'm going to see myself in there. And for OBS to be able to put a text file, to display a text file, I'm going to go into, the plus category over here, and I'm going to add a new text file. And this is going to be I'll just call it counter for now. I'm going to call it hello because I'm going to just redo this over again. So, well, I'm going to do it over again once I get it working with seconds, hours, minutes. Okay, so I'm going to call this hello, and I'm going to set it equal, or I'm going to read from the file that I created, which is in my desktop. Actually, we might have an issue because it says it needs to be an UTF-8, and I don't know if, I mean, maybe seconds works as UTF-8. We'll see. Let's go over to the desktop. Let's find hello.txt, and we should be seeing it on the screen. Right now it's in the top, it's right above me, right up there. Okay, so it says 40 right now, which is good. That's exactly what it was at before. Okay, so let me bring this down and let's see if it actually works. Let's first clear, I'm going to delete the file. So let me go to my Finder. Let's not delete the file, but clear the file. So right now it says 40. Let me actually delete everything in there. Hit save, and that 40 should disappear. Maybe, yes, the 40 disappeared. Okay, and now when I run my counter, we should start seeing it displaying up top. Okay, so we are at 0, 1, 2. Awesome, the counter is working, I think. I think everyone should be able to see it. I think it is displaying. I see it on my screen, so hopefully you do too. And if I were to stop it, so I hit Control C, so I stop the timer. It stopped at 15, and that's what's inside of that file right now, just 15. So let me restart it, if I was to restart it again, and we're going to continue from where we left off. So we are at 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, perfect. But we don't want to just count seconds because this is going to be really annoying. Actually, we could. We could count seconds. Every 60 seconds, we count up to, we increase the minute. Oh, actually, so we're really creating a clock here. Actually, we could do it like that. That would be, I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. We'll keep track of how many seconds, minutes, and hours. After 60 seconds, we'll increment 1 minute. After 60 minutes, we'll increment the hour. And we'll keep it in that kind of a format, the hour, colon, minute, colon, seconds. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. Actually, it's going to be weird because if seconds is just 1 digit, we'll figure it out. Let's do this. Okay, let me stop that because right now we're at like 70-something seconds. But we're on track. We are getting there. We're getting to where we want. All right. Let me delete it off the screen. Let me clear it. So I'm going to bring back OBS, and I'm just going to remove the hello. Okay, so now we don't see it on the screen. So you get to see the behind the scenes a little bit. Oh my goodness. Coding by yourself out loud is so much, it takes a lot of energy actually. Whatever, it's okay. Okay. So let's see. What did I say we were going to do first? Okay, so we're going to keep track of seconds, minutes, and hours. Okay, so let's see. How do we do that? Okay. Let's have three variables, or 3 lets here. Let hours, let minutes, and let seconds. Oh, that's going to be weird. Is that how we want to do it? Do I really want to do it this way? Do I want to keep track of each one separately? Let me Google something first. Let me see if I could find JavaScript counter time, or time counter. Not a counter. Plain Countup timer in JavaScript. So this will probably be the like actual answer. Minutes label, total seconds. Oh, and it's funny, they used parseInt also. But they're just putting it right in HTML. And I need to know the number of hours also. So they're not keeping track of hours. Oh, what they're doing is they're using a mod. Okay, so that's taking the remainder, and that's going to be the number of, okay. All right, so let's think about that. count up from date and time. Let's see, how about this one? How does this one do it? New date. Math.floor. Seconds in a day, seconds in an hour. I see what they're doing. I mean, that'll work, right? I mean, I'm not going to keep track of days. The most I'll keep track of is hours. How many seconds in an hour, which is 60 times 60, so that's 3,600, I believe. Wait, why did they do 60 times 1,000? Oh, milliseconds, because they need to do it in milliseconds. Okay. Time difference. Now minus count. So I think the problem with this is that it is probably like a little bit too accurate for what we need. We just need like seconds. This is doing like millisecond, down to the millisecond. I think. Maybe not. I mean, let's try doing it like the inconvenient way. Whatever. Let's just do it like this. Let's start with let's continue from where we started. We're going to start with hours, minutes, and seconds. So I don't want to set them, again, I don't want to set them here. I don't want to like hard code them as, 0, 1, or whatever. We'll just declare them here outside as global variables. What we'll do, let me think. So how do I count up? Let's start with minutes and seconds first, because that'll be easy to test. So as soon as we get to, so we'll start counting up the seconds. As soon as we get to 60, so as soon as we get to 59 on the next number, we should restart at 0, seconds to 0, and add 1 to minutes. Okay, so let's see how we do this. If the contents are blank, I mean, this is only going to happen the first time, and I don't think I need to declare hours, minutes, and seconds here. That's okay. Let's think. Okay, seconds equals parse int content. So we read from the file how many seconds. And I guess when we write the file, that's when we're going to do all the math. But that feels so inefficient to be doing all that math inside of the file. Like if we have 4,000 seconds to have to then figure out how many minutes, hours, all that stuff that is. I guess that's how we'll do it though. What are you going to do? Okay. Once we read the number of seconds. Okay, we're inside of the file, we're just going to keep track of seconds. And then when we write the file, we'll do all the math in here. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll log the number of seconds, we'll log the number of minutes. And hours. Okay. So what we'll do after we read from the file, we are going to start dividing the number of seconds up. Okay, so what we'll do is, because I'm only going to go up to 60 hours, or I mean, we'll see how many hours this takes, or how many hours I go for in this bet. But basically, we can take how many seconds is 60 hours? Let's see. Let me use a calculator. So there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. There's 60 minutes in 1 hour, and there are 216,000 seconds in 60 hours. It's a lot of seconds. Okay, so what I could start doing is I can divide the number of seconds I have by 60, and that'll give me how many minutes I have. So let's start doing that. Let's start with that. Geez, why is my brain not working today? I have to do all this math now. Okay, so let's see. Before we start adding up, like incrementing the number of seconds, actually, that's going to be a lot of math to keep doing over and over again. But I can't think of any other way right now. So let's just do it this first way that I'm thinking of. Okay, so let's let hours. Oh, hold on. That doesn't seem right. Let's start with minutes. Minutes equals the number of seconds divided by. The problem with this is that it's going to give us a fraction, a decimal. So we're going to have to basically round down. So we could do math. Okay, minutes. All right, so let's do math.floor, and then we'll do seconds divided by 60, right? So let's say we are at, so if we're at, I don't know, let's say 300 seconds, let's say. So 300 seconds divided by 60 is going to be 5. So we're going to have 5 minutes. So that should be okay. But the leftover will be the number of seconds. So we could do that actually. This will work. Minutes is that. How about hours is the same idea, math.floor of the number of minutes divided by 60. And then seconds just equals seconds. So the thing is, I don't want to say seconds here because that number is going to get big. I mean, I'll have hours and minutes, but then seconds is just going to keep incrementing, and that's not what I want. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? I just don't display seconds, maybe? Or the seconds will be okay, so maybe I could do let seconds remainder. The problem is if oh my gosh, this is interesting. Seconds mod 60. But the problem with this is that if we are if we're over an hour in, we're gonna have a lot of seconds, and if you just mod 60, that's just gonna be too many. So if hours is greater than 1, then we have to mod it by 3,600, right? So if we have more than 1 hour, if hours is greater than, no, if seconds, oh no, if hours is greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1, then what we have to do for seconds remainder is the seconds mod 3,600. Let me think if that's right. I could be completely off and wrong on this stuff. So let's say we're at right, 60 seconds, 60 minutes. So if we're at, let's say, 3,800 seconds, so if I do the mod, so it'll be the remainder of 3,800 divided by 3,600, which will be 200. So seconds remainder is 200, and then I have to do 200 mod 60, which will be 180, so 20. So 20 seconds. Is 3,800, would that be 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 20 seconds? Is that correct? So let's see. How many hours, minutes, seconds in seconds? I don't know. Let's find a calculator. 1 hour, 20 minutes. Oh no, 3 minutes. 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 20 seconds equals 3,800 seconds. Yes, okay. Oh my gosh, my brain. Let's just, so let's go with this. So the seconds remainder is that. So if hours is greater than 1, so then we have 200 seconds. So if seconds remainder is greater than 60, would it be 60? That must mean that we're in the minutes. So how? We'll probably display the seconds remainder. Okay, so we're creating a new variable. We're going to display seconds remainder as the number of seconds. Let's just do hours, minute, sec. We'll do that. Okay. Actually, I think we need to run this one first. So we can get minutes, then we could do hours. Here, my brain is just fried. It's hard to think out loud, talk out loud, go through this out loud, but whatever. If seconds remainder is greater than, okay, so 30, if it's greater than 60, then we have a certain number of minutes. So if seconds remainder is greater than 60, so we could do minutes equals the seconds remainder. We'll do the floor of that, so we'll round down, of seconds remainder divided by 60. Oops, I added the wrong thing here. Okay. Otherwise, seconds is greater than 59, because if it's, well, if it gets to 60, that should be the next minute. So if it's greater than 59, we should be at 60. We'll go with that. This is going to be quite annoying to check, or test a little bit, but we'll figure it out. I should be able to just type in whatever times I want, or whatever number of seconds, and then it'll display the right number of time, the time correctly, I should say. Okay, so we have minutes, hours, seconds. So the problem here is, okay, so if Okay, so if hours is less than 1, well, the thing is that after today, I'm not going to be at less than 1 hour. So, but I really should do this correctly for anyone who uses it in the future, if anyone uses it. So else if hour is greater than 1, that means that, well, that's it. That's really all I got to worry about. Otherwise, what am I doing? It will be greater than 1. Hi, Nam. Thank you so much. I wouldn't say I'm that great, but I'm all right. I enjoy doing it though. It's a lot of fun. Did you do BJC, or are you doing like Scratch or something in school, or outside of school? Okay, else if just say this. BJC, cool. Well, I hope you did well if you took the AP, or if you just started, I hope you continue. And then the seconds, 200 seconds. Okay, so what I'm thinking right now is that if I have 3,800, here, let me just type this in a comment. So if I'm at 3,800 seconds when I start this, that is 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 20 seconds. Yes. Okay, so how do I make sure that the math checks out correctly? So seconds remainder would be 200 here. And if seconds remainder is greater than 59, so that means that we should have some minutes here. So 200 divided by 60, and if we do the floor of that, we should get 3, but then we should have the leftovers. And that's going to be the number of seconds. So seconds remainder is going to be equal to seconds remainder mod 60. I'm probably gonna have to make some BJC videos actually, because they changed the curriculum. They changed like the order of things a little bit, and they've changed some of the stuff in there for this upcoming year. So maybe if some teachers request it, I'll make some videos. And then seconds remainder will be like, if we're at 200, then 200 mod 60 will be 20. And that's the number of seconds remaining. That's exactly what I want. All right, so right now, basically, I'm trying to create a Countup timer for those of you that have just come or joined the live stream. I'm trying to create a timer that counts up, that writes the time, the number of seconds to a file, because I'm doing a bet with one of my friends, trying to stream for 60 hours of myself coding and learning to code in something and doing stuff with code throughout August. So right now we're at like 1 hour and 1 minute, so 59 to go. But the problem with the app that I'm using right now to do this timer thing is that like if I stop it and start it up again, it's gonna restart to 0. And I want to be able to see the timer go all the way from like 0 all the way up to 60 hours if I wanted to scrub through the video. But I couldn't find an app that does it, so I'm trying to create one right now myself. But I'm having a little bit of difficulty with the math behind what I'm trying to do. But I'll get it done. Or like I said before, I'll die trying. We got to get it done by today, because once this stream's over, I mean, I want to have it all documented in this stream if anyone wants to go through. Thank you, Sebastian. How you doing? It's been a while. You know, I feel like I got screwed over in this bet. My friend just has to do 10 workouts, but it's like a really intense workout that he has to do. It takes like an hour and a half to do them. So he just has to do one every 3 days. I have to stream 60 hours. So I have to average 2 hours a day, basically, of coding after work, basically, when I'm tired. But whatever, it should be fun. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so continuing on from here. I don't want to create it here. Do I need to do this? Only if hours is greater than 1. But if hours isn't greater than 1, then so let's say we are at 200 seconds. So if we're at 200 seconds, that's 3 minutes. So this will get ignored. Oh, whoops. All of this is in this. No, I don't want that. Streaming is fun. I took it up for a bit recently, but stopped after a while. What were you streaming, Mark? Like a video game or something else? Or just like IRL or something, just chatting? On Twitch or YouTube? Okay, so we're still inside of this, and that's not what I want. Why is this? I have it so it should be saved. When I save, it should be like fixing my indentations. It doesn't seem to be. I was streaming Destiny 2 on Twitch. Gotcha. You know, I never touched the Destiny games. I haven't really played video games since, what was it? Halo 4, I think, on Xbox 360. Hello, Ryan. Thank you. Nice to meet you. I know. I mean, I've seen some people doing it on Twitch. So, like, me and one of my friends decided to make a bet for it, and it should be fun. It forces me to have to code and think out loud, and like, you know, if anyone benefits from seeing like me get stuck all the time, it'll be fine. It'll be cool. But I think I might get back to playing video games once Halo Infinite comes out. I might have to get a Series X. I avoided Xbox One, Xbox One X, but I might have to come back for Halo Infinite. Although the videos that they put out weren't that impressive in terms of graphics, but we'll see. We'll see what they do on Series X. I mean, I'd literally just get it for Halo. That's it. So we'll see. I don't know if I want to get back into video games. I don't know. Maybe it's because of this. Let me do indent using, I don't care if it's indent using spaces, but let's do 2. I really only enjoy playing video games with friends. Not much fun anymore. Yeah, honestly, that's, I don't really enjoy playing with strangers. Like, I can't do it for like hours and hours. After college, me and my friends played League of Legends, and we played for like up until like a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and then like we stopped playing. A couple of them still play other games, like what do they play? Overwatch, Path of Exile, Hearthstone, I think. I just really stopped after League of Legends. It was hard to get back into something else. But I really miss Halo. Like, I really like first-person shooters. I don't know. It's just something I find so much fun in getting better at a first-person shooter. but not Call of Duty so much. I felt like Call of Duty kind of like changed the way that it used to be. It's a little crazier now. I found you with your card dealing with JavaScript. If you're looking for projects, please consider a blackjack or poker app with JavaScript. I mean, I love, I did, yeah, I did do the card detecting thing. I used one of the, what was it? I used someone's library for that. By the way, Ryan, you may not know this, but my absolute favorite game in the world next to Halo is probably poker. So I absolutely love poker. No Limit Hold'em is my favorite game like ever. Just a little tidbit. Okay, so seconds remainder. Yep. Blackjack is kind of fun. It's fun when you play with like friends at a casino. Once you turn 21. But I don't like playing blackjack like with strangers at a table by myself. It just feels like I feel like a degenerate. But if I'm with my friends and just hanging out, then it's kind of fun. But poker I enjoy with anyone. It's really enjoyable. Okay. So, yeah, so I'm going to continue on from here. The seconds remainder is 200. So if I was to do 200 mod 60, that gives me 20. The problem is that if I'm not at 1 hour, then I have to figure out how many minutes I'm at. So minutes, so outside of this, actually, do I have to do that again? I should put this in an else. Because otherwise it'll run it every single time. It'll run both of them. It'll run it twice. And I don't want to reset seconds remainder 2 times. Seconds, though, will increase by 1. But I don't think I want to put it inside of the... do I want to put it inside of this? Oh, it's out. Is it? It's inside of the if. Wait. What's going on here? I think I lost one of my. I definitely did lose one of my. I lost my curly brace. Lost one of my curly braces here. Okay, maybe it was over here. There we go. Okay, so is this correct? And I don't need the seconds in there. I could do it outside. Actually, you know what? I really should check. I'm going to refactor this later on. Right now I'm doing it inside of the file writer, but I really should refactor it into its own function because this has nothing to do with writing to a file. This is really just timekeeping. So I'm gonna create a timekeeping function later on. But until then, we'll continue on. Let's see. Just to make it easy to understand what I'm doing here. So if the seconds remainder is greater than 59, so that means we have more than 1 minute. Is that right? Is that the best way to do it? Hours equals hours. Actually, now that I think about it, I did make a blackjack app in Snap like 4 years ago. But actually, no, it wasn't blackjack. It was war. But I remember one of my students, I think, made a blackjack app. I think. Now that I think about it. Sorry, I'm like so slow today. It's okay. So if there's an error, if not, let seconds remainder. So So we're writing to the file. Okay, let's leave. The thing is, it's gonna be so annoying to check if I don't test it out right now, if I don't get it right. Oh, it's gonna be so frustrating later on. So I kind of want to make sure my math is all good before I move on. So I should be able to test this. Oh, geez. Okay, let's think. Else seconds, parse int contents. When are we displaying the write file? The set interval. So we're doing the file writer every 1,000 seconds. So over here, we're saying how many seconds. We're incrementing. Let's do, okay, this is going to be running every second, basically. It'll say how many hours, minutes, and seconds. And it might say not a number for... Yeah, because really I'm just going to be keeping track of seconds and then doing the math every single time. So what I could do is, instead of doing hours equals, instead of using variables to store, we could just do math.floor seconds mod 3600. So if we're less than 3600, we're just going to end up with 0 hours. I hope that would work. And the same thing with minutes. So if we are below 60 times 60, actually no, 60, yeah, I mean, math.floor seconds mod 60. Will that work for big numbers though? For 3800. So 3800 seconds would be 1 hour, so this will be right. 3800 seconds mod 60, that won't be right. So, okay, so here is where we want to do the seconds remainder. We want to set equal to Oh my goodness, this is going to be so frustrating. Whatever, I need to kill 60 hours anyway, so we got to go slow. That's what it takes. I've already written too much, and now it's going to like drive me crazy to think about it. All right, we got to restart this. Or we got to like break it down a little bit, because right now it's just getting too big and out of hand. So inside of this, here's what I'll do. Inside of the file writer, I am going to read file. So we read from the file, and then we start writing to the file. And we're reading the number of seconds. Okay, so we read the number of seconds, then we start writing to it. Okay. In here, what I'm going to do, if there's no errors, we're going to call the figure out the time function. So we're going to declare that function figure out the time, and that is going to take the number of seconds. So that is going to use seconds as the parameter. We'll call it seconds. Okay. And what we'll do is figure out all the time things here. And I'm going to start by, and actually we're going to increment figure out the time. All right, we're gonna go really slowly through this so we can figure it out. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Hopefully it's not too small. Display time would be good. Well, actually, we're not really displaying it. We're just saving it into a file. Actually, we have to return the number of seconds also. Okay, so we'll return seconds. Maybe that'll work. Actually, let's test it out. Let me just comment everything out. We'll take in the number of seconds as the parameter. Seconds equals figure out the time. So we'll run this. Let's just return, I don't know, 46 for now. So right now we are going to, I'm going to open up my Finder. Let me just make sure this is blank. Actually, no, it's at 75 right now. So let's, actually, I don't want it to be at, doesn't matter where we're at. It should return back or rewrite it and say that it's 46 over here. We'll see. So let's create that text file. So we're going to do text, and we'll call it hello. And we're going to say that hello is coming from, we're going to read the hello.txt file. So right now it should say 75 somewhere on the screen. I think. I don't see it though. That's weird. Let me transform, let me make it a stretch to screen. Let's try running this. Okay, so that's counting up. But it's not displaying on the screen. I'm not sure why. Hello. Oh, it's not reading from the file. That's why. Here we go. So now that I read from the file, oops, I made it way too big. Let's just put it up here. And the top, we'll put it right over here on the side. That's okay. Okay, so we should, I want to display the number of, well, hold on. It's not, why is it at 82? Let me save this and rerun it. It should, I thought it should display 46. Let me try again. Oh, it's stuck. All right, not cool. Maybe we're in some infinite loop or something. Okay. Seconds. How do we write the file? Write to the file the number of seconds. Seconds equal figure out the time. Seconds. Let's return seconds plus 1. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to read from the file. It's going to say what the contents are. Let me look at the file right now. It's at 46. Oh, so it did do that right. Maybe I didn't see it. That's all right. Okay, so we're at 46. All right, so what it should do is it should read the 46, save it in seconds. Then we should write the file. Wait, where's a file writer? Oh, file writer is all the way at the bottom over here. So then we should set seconds equal to seconds plus 1. And we have a set interval on file writer, so this is going to run every single second. This one right here, this function. So this should work. This should start incrementing the time. Let's see if it does on the screen. Yes, it's working. Yes. All right, we're starting at 46 seconds and the timer is going up. All right, cool. And so now when it gets to 60, it should roll over to 1 minute. Okay, so we'll go from there. We'll take it from there. Okay, let me stop it. If I was to start again, it would say we're starting at 67 seconds and it continues on from there. So now it's counting up from 67 seconds. Okay, so we're making progress. Let's start it. Actually, right now it's at 46. Why does it say 46? It should say 72. Oh, it is 72. Maybe that was the old, it didn't update the text edit. Okay, so let me just clear out the screen. We're all good. We're good for now. So, okay, let's see. You know what? We're not going to do figure out the time. Actually, we do have to do figure out the time because we have to save the time to the file. Oh, goodness. So we have to save the time. The thing is, we can't just save like 2,000 seconds in this file because 2,000 was going to be displayed. So we actually have to save it in a specific format, in like the 000000 format. So we need to save it in this kind of a format because it's going to display exactly how it's written in the file. Okay, so we can't just save the number of seconds. We have to like literally do this correctly. Okay, so let's do that. So what'll happen is that before I return the number of seconds plus 1, I am going to, okay, if I'm at 67 seconds, we're going to go through it like procedurally, like step by step. So if I'm at 67 seconds, I have to figure, I know that that's 1 minute and 7 seconds. Okay, so let me think about that. So I kind of do need to figure out. Let's start with minutes. Let's just get minutes and seconds working. So seconds will move up the minutes. Okay. So minutes is going to equal the number of seconds that is passed in mod 60. Okay, and what we want to do, so how are we going to save it in that kind of a format? So we have to save it right here in File Writer. So what we'll do is, actually, so here we are going to have to, because we're saving seconds here. A template literal? How do you do that in JavaScript? Is that like $sign? I could do the expression, you mean? Run an expression inside of the template literal? Is it like $sign curly braces and stuff? JavaScript template literal. Oh, like that, yeah, $sign. I could do something like that. The thing is, I just have to, actually, I could do that. So I could do something, that's actually a great idea. So you mean like do it like So seconds equals, it's going to be a string, actually template literal. So it's going to be hours $, minutes. Is this what you're thinking, Ryan? And then $ seconds. Oops. With so hours, minutes, seconds. Something like that. That's what I have to save inside of the file. And then when I read it, I have to, oh geez, when I read it, I'm going to have to read, yeah. So, yeah, you're right. So, the thing is, right now we're saving seconds. So, I mean, that's just what we're going to have to call it. Let's get minutes and seconds working first, and then I'll worry about hours. So what I'll do is I'm gonna, oh no, so I can't really use the function there like that, because the function will just, maybe it could just spit back a string. All right, let's just go slow. What's going on here? Figure out the time in seconds. Okay, so here. Okay, minutes equals seconds mod 60, right? So if we're at 67 seconds, that'll be 1 minute. Because we want the remainder. No, wait, no. That's no. We don't want the mod of that. We want the remainder. We want the floor of this. So this should. Let's test it out. Actually, let's go into Node. Okay, and then we're gonna do 67 divided by 6. 60. So that should give us 1. Okay, that'll work. After we get the math into the variables, hours, minutes, and seconds, we place it in the template literal. Let me just make sure that if I was at 121, it's going to be 2. So this will work. Math.floor, that's the number of minutes. And we'll just pass it back as a string, and that'll be the number of seconds. Yeah, I think this will work. So, okay, so now if I run it now, it should, right now we're at 72, so it should say 1 minute and 12, actually 1 minute. So it should say, let me actually type it like this. 1 minute, and it's going to say, I think, 72 seconds if I run it now. Let me try. Oops, let me get out of here. Ah. All right, why is it not working? Whatever, let's just open up a new one. Go to the desktop, node, Countup timer. And so now it should write to the file. Let me make sure I'm not incrementing it anywhere. I just want to see that it's saving the right thing to the file. Or the wrong thing, but I'll fix it. So we're starting at 72 seconds. Okay, it just updated the file. It's doing something. All right, let me stop it. I see it in, oh geez, what does it say? I can't even read that. Okay, something screwed up there. Not a number, minutes, seconds. Okay, let me delete all that. It doesn't really matter, but I'll do that. So let's see. So we're writing to the, oh, the problem is it's, so the issue is that if we save it as a string, if we're saving that string in the hello.txt, then we are not able to, like parse it afterwards, because now when it tries to read the string, oh geez, that's gonna be a mess. So maybe I should use two files for it. One for the number of seconds and one for how to display that. Maybe not. Let's think. 1 hour and 33 minutes, and I feel like we've gotten nowhere. I love it. I mean, I guess when we write to the file, but only input the seconds. The problem is I have to save it in the file. So if I, it's easy if I could just keep track of the number of seconds like in that file. But the problem is when I read that file, I have to save it in the format that I want it. That way I could display that on the screen. And if I save it as a string, like when it tries to read it again, it like can't figure out what's going on. That is tricky. It makes me want to like save like the number of seconds in one file and then like display it in another. Just take in the number of seconds from the other file and display it somehow. But that doesn't seem right. Or maybe I should just keep track of the number of seconds and just use that. And I know that the goal for this month is 216,000 seconds, which is 60 hours. But that'll look kind of dirty. I kind of like the way that it looks in a time format. So this is probably, you know what? This is probably why the person that created my stream timer didn't figure it out themselves. I could read the string. I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. I could save it in that format and then just read like, the first two values is going to be the hours. Skip the colon. The next two are going to be the minutes. The next two are going to be the hours. Seconds. I could do that. This is going to be the best way to do it. But is that even going to... So I'm going to have to change this. So I don't want to just take the contents and... So really, let me actually kind of like use pseudocode here to help my brain out. So what I'm going to do is, if the contents aren't empty, which they're not going to be, and actually, I really don't have to worry about the contents being empty. It won't be empty because I'm going to be starting at like 2 hours or something. So this will never hit. But if it was empty, then actually, you know what? Let's set the time. Let time. If it was to be empty, then we'll set time equal to that. And it's going to be a string. I'm just going to have to save it as a string, concatenate it as a string with the template literal. So now seconds, actually okay, so how do we do this? Else, what we could do for the number of seconds is, okay, so let me figure out how to parse, how to read JavaScript. I could do that. I could split it up into an array of substrings and then parse int on each substring. Let's do that. Let's use the split method. Yeah, we'll use parse int. But first I'm going to break up the string into 3 pieces: the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. How's that sound? I think that'll work. So let's split it up by okay, so we're going to use the substrings. Yeah, let's try that. So let's do so it's going to be hours equals, so the time, else time equals that. Time dot, how do we do this split? How do we do that? Contents. Contents is going to be what's inside of the file. So it's going to be something that looks like this, in this kind of a format as a string. Contents dot splice. Or is it split? Split a string into substrings using the specified separator and return them as an array. Oh, it's going to return an array. And return them as an array. Okay, so this is going to be the time array then. Split it by the colon. So I think the colon will be how we split it. So we'll have three separate things. So we're going to set the hours equal to the time array 0. Hours string split. Okay, so it's split. I think that might work. I think this will work too, right? Time array 1, and then the third one is going to be the seconds equals time array 2. Okay, let's see. I mean, let's test this out. Let's see if this works. So let's log this out. Console.log hours. Seconds. Oh no, not seconds. Let's do minutes first. Minutes, and then seconds. And that's going to be minutes, and then seconds. So let me save this. Let me actually log out the time array also. So I'm going to log out the time array, and then I'm going to log out the hours, minutes, seconds, see if it works. Let me save it in that format first. So let me open up hello, and let's do I don't know, 1, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So it should say 1 hour, 0, 1 hours, 0, 2 should be minutes, and 0, 3 should be the seconds. Let me just save that, and let me not do the figure out the time stuff. So we're not going to be writing to the file. I don't want to like cause an error or something. So let me just run that. Let's see if this works. Okay, we're starting at 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Actually, well, hold on. It shouldn't say we're starting at that. It should say we're starting at, okay, and then it's going to say the contents. Wait, what just happened? It deleted everything. Why did it do that? Let me try 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Let me save that. Save anyway. I got to see why it got like rewritten. Let me just clear this. Oh, let me exit out, clear this. Why did it get rewritten? Save. maybe when we do the file write, it needs to save something. So when we read the file, I don't want to write. So here's the problem. I don't want to write to the file. So let me just comment out set interval. And now this should work. Starting at undefined. Okay, that's not good. Let me, what happened? Why didn't this save? Could not be saved. The file has been saved by another application. Let me try again. Let me close that out. Let me open it up again. Okay, so it's been saved. Let's try to read from this file. Because when it reads the file, that shouldn't do anything, and the file writer should not do anything either, because it's not being called. So we're just going to be reading from the file. Time. We're not using time, so let me get, oh, we are using time here. If it's, you know what, I mean, it'll never be empty, so we'll just, you know what, will never be empty, and we'll get rid of the time, this variable. Okay, so right now I think hello.text is 1, 2, 4, so 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 4. Let's see if we can parse that. Let me close out of this, and let's see if we can see it right here. We're starting at 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 4. There's my array. Hours 1, minutes 2, seconds 4. So we could do it. We did it. This should work. Well, this is the next step. So now I have the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. Okay. So we're not going to be keeping track of seconds. Like seconds will literally go from 0 to 59, and then it'll go into the next minute, and then we're just going to keep rounding up like that, and we're never going to see more than, 60 seconds. We're not going to see 60 seconds because it'll just be the next minute. So we're just going to have to keep track of it a little differently than what I was originally intending, but that's good. That's okay. It'll be a little bit easier. Okay, so we're making some progress, I think. All right, so we have the values, right? Let me just do, let me add commas in here so next time it'll just be a little bit easier to read. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, so we read from the file, and now we want to write to the file. But what we want to write to the file is those hours, minutes, and seconds correctly as a string. Okay. So file, write file. So we're gonna. All right, so we've got to be very careful here. We're gonna have to go really, really slowly because I don't want to have to do a bunch of coding and then try to figure it out later on. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take the number of seconds. All right, so okay, hold on. All right, read from the file. When I write to the file, I'm going to fs.write file. I'm not going to be writing the second. I'm going to be writing the time array as a string. So I'm going to, over here, I'm going to have to set time array as a string equal to, and then we have to put it all together here, I think. So that equals, it's going to be, no, I don't want to do it like that. I want to do it, oh my goodness, this is going to be a mess because I need to, Seconds should be like 0.7. How is it going to keep track of that? Oh, that's so tricky, actually. Because if I try to save like 7 seconds, it's just going to save 7 instead of 0.7. So I have to like check to see if seconds is in single, same thing with minutes actually. Oh, that's tricky. It's going to be a little annoying. Actually more than a little annoying, it's going to be really annoying. I mean, I could use a bunch of like conditionals to check to see if it's a single digit or not. I guess. All right, let's start with seconds and see how that works. Okay, so. And forget this function for now. We're going to do it all in the right file, and then we'll refactor it later or tomorrow. Actually, I don't know how long this stream's going to go for, but we're going to keep going till we get somewhere else. So, I mean, this is probably why the stream timer person just said, screw it, we'll start at 0 every single time instead of continuing from where we're at, because it's a little tricky. It's all right. Okay, I've captured the hours, minutes, and seconds. So now what I want to do is I'm going to assume that I'm going to plug in like 000049. So I'm going to assume that. So let's pretend that's what was happening. That's what it was read from the file. So I know I could read from the file so far. So far that works. The next thing would be so I'm going to take the 49, and what I want to do is I want to keep adding 1 to it. Number of seconds. Okay, so let's go with 49. So I want to, let me try to pseudocode it. So I want to add a second. So I want to add a second. I want to make sure, I want to check to see if we're at 59. I want to check to see if we're at 59 first. As long as we're not at 59, we can add a second, right? So if minutes is less than 60, I need to put that in parentheses. So as long as it's less than 60, I can add a second. But if it's at 59 and I add a second, that's a problem. So if it's less than 59, we can add a second. If it's less than 59, add a second. Else if we're at minutes equals 59. No. Yeah. No, wait. Seconds. Not. Let me restart that. If seconds is less than 59, else if seconds equals 59. Else, because if it's not less than 59, then it's got to be 59. So here's where we're gonna add a minute. Oh my goodness, I should take that thing off the screen. It's probably really annoying. So let me hide that for now. Okay, let me hide it. Okay, else we're going to add a minute and then restart seconds back at 0. So we're going to add a minute. No, wait. If seconds is... Seconds is less than 59, add a second. So seconds plus equals 1. Else, we're going to add a minute. So minutes plus equals 1. And then we're going to reset seconds back to 0. Okay. And then we can put that all together as a string. I mean, right now we're not even worrying about hours, but hours is going to, as long as it hasn't changed, it should still be 0, 0 from before. Minutes should be, let's see what happens. We'll see what happens. Let's see what happens with this. So the time array as a string, and this is what we want to, this is what we're going to save to the file. And we're going to run this once, right? Time array as a string. Let me do a file writer here. We want to write, I want to do it once, not every second, but just one time right now. File writer, and we'll run the code. So we'll run this function. So let me save it. We are going to, well, right now, what is it set at? Let me set it equal to, as I said, 0, 0, 0, 0, 49. So we're at 49 seconds. Let me save that. Okay, I'm going to run it one time. Let me put this terminal back here. Let's run it one time and see what it displays. Time array as string is not defined. What do you mean? Wait, how do we use a write file for this? Node.js write file. File name, the data. So this is going to be the data. Starting to write file. Let's see if we could even get inside here first. Starting to write file, and then it gets stuck as time array as a string. Okay, so I guess I can't, I mean, that kind of makes sense. So what I'm going to do is outside of that, I'm going to let data equal oh, what am I doing? Maybe this goes outside of there. And now this goes there. Okay. So if There we go. This might work. If there's an error, it'll throw an error. Time array as a string. Okay, this should work. All right, let's clear this off. Let's try it again. All right. I think hello was updated. Let's see what just happened. Undefined, not a number, and 0. Oh my goodness. That totally got screwed up. Okay, that's okay. Let's 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 49. So let me save that again. We push it off to the side, and let's see what's going on here. So when we're calling file writer, seconds plus equals 1. Oh, you know what it is? It's probably here. This is where we should parse int. We should not make them strings, or we should convert them to integers. But then we're gonna have to change them back, I think. So right now we should have them as, right now they should be integers. So now we could like add 1 to them like the normal way, and everything should be okay. I think this should work, but we'll try it out. Let's see. Let me just double check that hello is correct. So it is 000049. Let me close that out. Let me run that again. Not good. It's not what we're starting at. Not a number, and 0. But why is it doing that? And then, yeah, if I open it up, not an undefined, not a number, and 0. Oh, so it's running file writer. Oh my goodness, it is running file writer first. So that's not good. Let me just resave this as 000049. Because that's my test. That's what I wanted to work at. Okay, so what's happening is that it is not, this must be, so what's happening is that this is a asynchronous function or method. So it is not, it's starting it, but it's not finishing this before it runs file writer. So we really want to be doing this, I guess, in a blocking manner. We don't want to do it asynchronously. Or we could do it asynchronously, but we got to then do it inside of here once we've read the file, which is actually not a bad idea. So instead of putting file writer out here, yeah, let's keep it asynchronous. We'll do file writer in here. So only after it retrieves the contents does it go for to write the file. So we can't write the file until we retrieve the contents of what's in there already. I think this is better. Let's continue on from here. Let's see if that's if I'm actually on the right track here. So let me run it. We're starting at 000049. Okay, perfect. So after this, we should be at 000050 inside of that text file. And if I open up hello, it says 0, 0, and then 50. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. All right, good. Okay, if we run it again, it's gonna increase it by 1. So we are at, let me open it up again. 51, perfect. All right, we're getting there, Oh my goodness, this is really frustrating because it seems like something that's so simple, but when you're out of touch with JavaScript and you're thinking out loud, you're talking out loud, it's a little tricky. It can get frustrating. Just get water. All right. Okay, so that'll work. Actually, let me keep going. Let me run it a few times, because I want to see what happens when it gets up to 59. So 51, 52, 53. So every second, this is what would be happening. 56, 57, 58. Okay, and so now minutes should go up by 1 and seconds should restart to 0. Wait, actually, we don't want that. Actually, 59? Okay, so no, this is good. If it is at 59, we could go up 1 more second. But now that it's not less than 59, now we should be hitting this else. Let's see if we do. Yes. Okay, so now we're at 1 minute, 0 seconds. And now if I keep going, 1 minute, 1 second, 1 minute, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So actually, we're kind of getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Unfortunately, though, this is just gonna, the number of seconds will never like go to the 1 hour. So we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to, before all this, we're gonna have to see if the number of minutes is less than 59. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. And the other issue is that it's saving it as like 0, 1, 14. So let me show you what I mean. Can I blow that up a little bit? Yeah. So we need to save it as 0, 0, 0, 1, 15. So, all right, we'll figure that out later on. But for now, this is we're getting somewhere. I actually don't even care. I'll do that at the end because I just want to make sure I get the minutes going correctly. The minutes and seconds and hours working correctly first, and then I'll worry about the formatting. Okay. So what's next? So we are at like about 2 hours. That's good. All right, we're putting a dent into this bet. 58 hours to go. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. All right. So let's, before we check the number of seconds, we should check the number of minutes. Okay, so is that what it would be? So and we'll test it out immediately. If minutes is less than 59, we're going to do minutes plus equals 1. Wait, I got to be careful here. Yeah, I gotta be very careful. Because otherwise it's gonna increase the number of minutes every single time, like a second. But that's not what I want. Because this is gonna run every second. Let me think. Sometimes I gotta stop and think and just make sure that I know what I'm doing here. Yeah, because I don't want to check every second. All right, so hold on one sec. I guess I'm checking inside of here. Minutes plus equals 1. Seconds. So in the else, maybe here's where I check. Minutes is going up by 1 in here. I guess in here, this is where I check. If minutes is less than 59, I'm going to increase minutes by 1. I cannot type plus equals. It's like I'm going crazy. If minutes is less than 59, minutes plus equals 1, else if minutes is at 59, then we have to reset the number of hours. So we have to do hours plus equals 1. Minutes equals 0. And seconds will equal 0. Ooh, I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful because I don't want to run this right after that. Let me think. So maybe I should put it inside of an else if. No. This is okay. If seconds is less than 59, increase the number of seconds. Do that. If else if minutes is less than 59, then minutes plus 1. Else increase the number of hours. Minutes starts at 0. Seconds starts at 0. I got to be careful with this. This I have to think about where this should go. So if minutes is at 59, okay, so let me think of a situation where we would be hitting this. So minutes is less than 59. We do that. So then I guess I don't need that in here. And I guess I don't need to reset seconds in here, because seconds will be reset outside because we don't add 1. I think this is right. Let's test it out by hard coding. Let's try, so let's try 0. Actually, let's try 59 minutes. 59 minutes and 48 seconds. All right, so I'm going to save it. Let me open up my window here. So we're at 59:48. Okay, if I run it again, it should be 59:49. Perfect. 59:50. 51. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. Let me clear it so it's easier to see. I'm going to do 59:59. This is the moment of truth. So now it should say 1 hour 00. 1 hour 00. Yes. And if I go again, it should be 101. Yes. I think I got it. Yes, okay. If I open up the hello.txt, we can see that it's 1 hour, 0 minutes, 14 seconds. Oh my goodness, we got it. Okay, we're almost there. We are like literally almost there. I guess what I could do is I could check to see the length of the hours, and if it's, here's what I mean. Let me clear this off. I got it. I think I got the timer. So this will work. What I'll do is I'll create some conditions. So if hours.length can I do that? Let me see. If hours.length equals 1. So if that means that it's 0, like if that means that it's like, 1 hour, then we have to add a 0 in front of it. So what we're going to do is we'll do hours equals, and we'll put a string, actually, I don't want to put a string 0. Actually, yeah, I'll put a string 0. Because once it's double digits, it will never hit this. But for now, we'll do hours equals 0 plus hours. So this will be, so if it's like 7 hours, it'll be 07. And then it'll save it. If minutes.length equals 1, same idea. Minutes equals, and we're going to concatenate 0 with the number of minutes. So if it's like, 3 minutes, it'll put 03 minutes. Right, I mean, when it hits this if statement, and then it saves it, it'll save it correctly in the format that I want. And if seconds, same idea with seconds. If seconds.length equals 1, then we're going to set seconds equal to, we're going to concatenate a 0 in front of it. Okay. And then we save it as the time as the array. The time array as a string. And then we write that to the file. So let's see if that works. I just saved it. Let me go to the file and let's do actually, even right now, I should be able to run it once and it'll be 0100. Actually, yeah, 0 minutes. Yeah, 010015 is what should come out. So let me save this. Let me run it. Okay. Now let me open it up. 010015. Oh, it's not saving it right. Maybe it's not. Let's test it out and see if it's even hitting this. So when I run the file writer, so I'm going to say console.log yo 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 yo, and then we'll concatenate the with the hours. Let's see if it puts it together as yo 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 00. It might not even say yo yo yo. So yeah, it's not saying it. If I run it again. Hours.length. What is hours.length? So let me just console.log. The length of the number of seconds is, and then we'll do seconds.length. So right now the number of seconds is 16, so it should say length is 2. So let's run it. Undefined. Oh, you know what it is? The reason it's undefined is because right now it's still in an integer. Oh my goodness. So we have to parse it back into, or we have to turn it back into a string to be able to check to see its length, because you can't check the length of an integer probably. Okay, so that's how we're getting undefined here, because there is no length method on integers. Okay, so what if we do, if there was a parse int, could we do parse string? Or how do we do that? How do we turn an integer into a string? So let's do that. JavaScript, let's Google it. JavaScript int into string. A toString. So the method is going to be toString, num.toString. Perfect. All right, so we could do, we could run toString and put the seconds.length in there. So now we should be able to see the number of seconds that is. Let's see. sorry, we should be able to see the length. So it should say 2 because right now we're at 17 seconds, 18 seconds. So the length of the number of seconds is object undefined. Why is it saying that? We did a toString. Oh, we got to do a toString on seconds and then run the length on that. This is so fun. This is kind of funny. So you can see how tricky coding is sometimes. So toString on seconds. Once we have that, once we have the number of seconds as a string, then we check the length of it. And if it's 2 seconds, sorry, if there's 2 digits, we should see 2 seconds. Okay, so let's run that. What is missing? Oh, I guess I didn't. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, I don't want to put a semicolon at the end of length because we're inside of the console.log. Speaking of which, why is it moving it to another line? Okay, it's moving it to another line. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's too long. That's all right. So I don't need to put a semicolon at the end of that because that's not a statement. That's just part of the log. All right, so now it should work. The length of the number of seconds is 18. Let me try again. Is 18, 1/8. Why does it do that? Let me do a toString, just on the seconds. So it literally should just display the seconds down here. So let me just put a haha and then toString the number of seconds. So it should just spit back the number of seconds again in here. Okay, when we log it out. Haha object undefined. What? Am I not using toString correctly? Let me do the type of the seconds and let's see what you can see how debugging is can get a little crazy. But let's use the type of operator and see what seconds is. Okay, so there I saved it. It's a number. Okay. See it says right here number. So why can't I do toString on it? Let me try another. Maybe there's another method. JavaScript number toString. toString function. If it is used to return a string representing the specified number, it's got to be the toString. So what did I do wrong? Maybe I have to save it in a variable. Let me try let seconds string equals or equal toString. Oh, maybe it's, I think I used it wrong. Let me go back. I put it inside as I'm so silly. Yes, you're absolutely right, Ryan. I just saw that you wrote that. Yeah, I did that wrong. I passed it in as the argument, but you just have to do it the other way. So it's seconds.toString. There we go. Okay, so I could that'll work. It should work. Thank you, Ryan. I don't know how long ago you said that, but I'm just seeing it now. Okay, so let me run it just to see that it says. Okay, perfect. So it says 25 as a string. So now I could do toString.length, and it should say 2 because we're in double digits now, and it says 2. Perfect. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to check to see if the hours dot toString dot length. So we have to add the toString in between everything here. And if it's 1, if the length is 1, then that means that that means that it's a single digit, so we should add or concatenate a 0 in front. So let me get rid of this, and now this should work. I mean, every time I say it should work, it doesn't, so we'll see. Let's see, we are at 1026. If I run it again, 1027, 010027. Oh look, it did it. Let me check inside of my hello.txt file. 010028. Perfect. Let me run it one more time. So it was at 28. Now it should be at 29. 010029. So we are golden. Okay, so this is good. Let's do another test. Let's change this to 005958. So this is 59 minutes 58 seconds. So if we run this 2 times, it should go to 5959 and then 010000. So let me run it. So 05958 is what it was at. So right now I'm just displaying what it was at, and I should be displaying down here the new value. Console.log time string as the array. Time array as string, I should say. And we're going to put that right there, underneath that. Okay. So let's run it, and now it should be 1. Actually, right now it is at 05959, as you can see right there. I know it's like really small, but I blew it up for a second. And now when I run this, it should say 010000. 010000. Perfect. If I run it again, it should be 01 seconds, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Okay, cool. So we got it working. So now, as long as I just have this text file on my computer, this text file is going to be my timer. So I don't have to use this app. Here, let me show you the app that I was using. This app was called My Stream Timer. So I don't have to use this app anymore for my stream. Because this one, if I press stop and I hit start again, it's going to clear it and start it again at 00. So I don't want to do that. I now have a new timer that I could use as long as I have my, as long as I have my terminal open. Actually, it's not going every second. So let me actually fix that. So let me, let's see. We really have to run this file writer every second. So what we're going to do is, inside of this read file, we're going to set interval and run file writer every second. Will this work? Hold on, let me think. Let's try it. Okay. And every second it should be displaying that. It should work. Let's try it. I have no idea. Uh-oh. Okay. Wait, what's it doing? Oh no, what's going on? This timer is crazy. It's oh my goodness. All right, so it's concatenating the time with strings and all that stuff. It's going crazy. Let me stop this for a second. Control C. Let me try to think of why that's happening. And let me first delete everything that's being saved in there. So I got to go back to, let's go back to 000000. Let me save that. Let's think about why that's happening. Maybe because I'm running it inside of this, and I shouldn't. I should run it. This should run okay. So this should run asynchronously, and then after. So once that's done, oh shoot, I kind of do need to run file writer in there. Because I can't, because this is asynchronous, meaning that when JavaScript goes through this, it's gonna go through this and basically hit set interval, and file writer is gonna be called, and it's gonna see that I don't know what seconds are. Maybe read file will, maybe we could turn this into a synchronous function. Let me look that up. That way we don't have to worry about the asynchronicity of it. So node read file sync. Read file sync. Returns the content of the path. So I think this will work, I think. Yeah, instead of, I mean, what am I using right now? A read file? Not read link though. I'm using read file, but it is asynchronous. Yeah, asynchronously reads, but I don't want to read it asynchronously. I want to read it synchronously, I think. Read file sync. And then I just have to pass the path. We could try that. And then set the content. So let me see if that helps. It might not. All right, let me just comment out the asynchronous one. And the synchronous one is read file sync. And all we got to do is pass in the text file, the value of the text file, and we're going to save that as the contents. Let contents equal that. Or no, let the time. Okay, so we need all of this again. So let the time equal that, and then we could run all of this. So now we could split up the time into the time array. I mean, we have to do lets, right? Let time array equals the time dot split. I don't know if I could use time actually. Can I? No, I don't want to do that. Let the time in file. We'll name it that. I don't think I could use time as a. It's probably a reserved keyword. So time in file. We'll split it up by colons. Console.log the time array. Sure, we'll let the hours equal that, minutes, seconds equal that. We'll log it out just to see it, and then we're gonna run file writer every second after that. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Hey, what's up? I'm streaming. What do you need? I'm sorry, keep checking. Hello? Bye. Sorry about that. Let's see if this works. So this is synchronous now. Now, if it got stuck on this, and it it would get stuck. But now it could run this after this runs. This time array will not run until it runs line 7 won't run until it runs line 6. So let's see if this works. Oh, wait, did I name it time? Where did I name it time? fs.fileReadSync. That's weird because I don't have it named time in here. Oh, I didn't save the file. Silly me. Okay, there we go. I saved it. So now I think this should work. We'll see. Oh, look who we got here in chat. We have Dave Idell. He's the person I'm betting against. Okay. Time in file.split is not a function. Hold on. Let me see what we're reading from the console.log time in file. Let's see what we're reading from that. Let me just, we'll block everything else out. Let's try this again. Sounds good, Dave. Whoa. Let me see what the file actually says. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Let's try 1 second. See if that changes anything. 0. What is going on? This must be... Something's weird here. Oh, the buffer. It returns a buffer. Read file. Read file sync. And so maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll just keep it asynchronous, because I don't know how read file sync works. Synchronously reads the entire contents of a file. But I don't know why it returns a buffer. Like, what am I going to do with a buffer? So let me Google it. Node read file sync buffer to string or something. If no encoding is specified. Oh, I should declare the encoding. That's why. So I just got to add another argument to this. So UTF-8. That's probably why. So it doesn't know what it should be reading, I guess. Let's try this one more time. There we go. Okay, so now this should work. So let me clear all this out. I think. I mean, every time I say that, it doesn't always work. Okay, so we're at there. Oh my gosh. Same issue. So what's the issue here? The concatenation is screwing it all up. So inside here, the file writer, right here, the toString. So why is that happening now? Okay, so if it saves it as a string, but then don't we parse int up here? So don't I felt like I turned it back into a oh, wait a second. So what's happening is once this runs for 1 second, it turns all of my hours, my minutes, my seconds into strings, and then it doesn't check them correctly. So I got to turn them back into integers, basically. So when I save it, I want it to be a string because I want to be able to add that 0 in front. Okay, so that's okay. The problem is when I keep running this over and over again, I need to turn them back into integers. So, all right, let's. I mean, this is gonna be this is dirty, but let's. Oh, how should I do that the cleanest way? If hours is less than 10, it's not. It's the issue is that it's checking the string. I think this works, but when I add 1 to it, when I add 1 to the value, it's turning it into it's concatenating that 1 to the string version of seconds. So I want to do this parse int. But I don't think I could do that. So I'm going to have to do seconds equals parse int seconds plus 1. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. And not just for the seconds, but for the other ones also. Let's double check. Let's see if this works. I'm actually curious to see if I run, let me try doing 59 in quotes, less than 60 as a number, and see if this gives me a true or false. True. Okay, so it is able to compare. This is the thing with JavaScript not being a typed language. It does some weird things sometimes. So I can compare a string number to an actual number, an integer. So the conditional will work, but when I add 1 to it, it keeps it as a string. So let's just do that. Let's just do minutes equals parse int minutes plus 1. Same thing here. Hours equals parse int hours plus 1. Seconds equals 0. Okay, so I think this should work. I mean, I hope. Let's make sure that we're at we'll start at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we're starting from the beginning. Now when I run it, oops, let me get out of Node. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now I think it's working. Okay, and it's displaying. I could actually show it on my screen right now. Let me show hello. You see it all? Okay. All right, it looks like it's working. Let me test out 59 seconds and make sure that it goes over to minutes correctly. So let me stop it. And when I stop it, my hello.txt is at 33 seconds, so this is perfect. So let me start it at 58 seconds. 58, 59, 1 minute. Perfect. Great, great, great. This is awesome. Okay, let me test out 59 minutes. So let me bump this up all the way up to 59 minutes. And let's start at 47 seconds. So let me save it. Let me rerun it. 59, 48, 49, 50, 51. Moment of truth coming right up. Nailed it. Yes. Okay, so it's at 1 hour, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. All right, it works. Yes. Ryan, we did it. Okay. I mean, it looks nasty, but it works. And sometimes all you need is for something to work. And that's good enough sometimes. So this is great. I am able to, now when I finish the stream, I'm able to open up my hello.txt file. So let's say I end the stream at, oops, let me close this out. Let me blow this up a bunch. So right now we are at what, 2 hours, 43 minutes or so. So I could like start it at 2 hours, 43 minutes, you know, whatever number of seconds. So it could be like 15 seconds. If I hit save, you'll see it on the big screen. And then if I run this Countup timer, it'll continue from then on out. So now we have a timer that I could use tomorrow. So whatever time I finish today, I'm going to continue from that time tomorrow, and I don't have to worry about losing my place in time or my track of time, because now my timer works. Wow, two and a half hours to get that working. It's kind of cool though. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to let it run till, let's see, let's go to 44 minutes, 2 hours, 44 minutes. Yeah, because we're going to go up to 60 hours. So this will go up to 60 hours, and it's not going to go over like another thing. It works. All right, cool. All right, so now I could just stop it by hitting Control-C, and it'll save. It's saved in my text file. Hold on, let me reopen that. So it should be at 2:44:08. Perfect. So I'm just going to blow this up so you can see that it's at 2:44:08. So when I stop my stream, I could just stop this this terminal window, the thing that's running, and we're good. All right, so we are good. We're golden. This works. Oh, okay, so I know it looks kind of like dirty. I'll leave all the commented out stuff. Who cares? Actually, no, let's delete it. Let's just make it a little bit cleaner. All right, so let me hit save. And just to recap, I'm just going to go over this and recap what's going on. Let me turn off the giant timer that's going off there. Okay, so what I'm doing is, for anyone that's just popping in, I see that we have a couple more viewers. Here's what's happening. There's an issue with this app I'm using. It's called My Stream Timer. The one that's currently in the bottom right, like saying what time it is. It works fine, but the problem is that when I start my stream tomorrow, it's going to start back at 0. Or if I hit stop and I restart it, it doesn't continue from where it left off. It will literally clear out the entire contents of the file. So the way that OBS works is that it displays what's in this text file and it updates it like nonstop. So if I want to show a timer, I need to update a text file over and over again, or every second. So what I'm doing, instead of using this app, I created my own just now over the last like 2.5 hours. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up this file, first I'm bringing in the library for the file system. Then I am reading what's in the file, and the thing that's in the file right now, I named it hello.txt, but I'll probably name it something else after the stream. What's in the file right now is just the time in this format, hours, minutes, and seconds. Because for my bet with my friend, I need to get to 60 hours. So this 02 right now needs to say 60. Otherwise, I lose a bunch of money for this month. Okay, so let me exit out of here. And I'm reading what's in the file. I'm logging out what's in the file just so that I could see it in the terminal. I'm splitting up the times. So the way that I did it is, let me just bring that in again. I'm taking 3 variables here. or I'm saving the times here as three separate things. First is the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. So that is, first what I do is I take this string and I break it up into an array of three objects or three items. The first one being the hours. So that's this right here. The time array 1, which is the second item, is the number of minutes, and time array 2 is the number of seconds. And I'm taking those strings and I am turning them into integers, into numbers. Actually, and I probably don't even need to do that here. I don't need to do that because I turn them into numbers. I don't need to do that. Honestly, I really don't need to do that again here. But whatever, I'll leave it because who cares? So then once I extract the, let me just bring that back. Once I extract the hours, the minutes, the seconds, then I am running the set interval function that's built into JavaScript, I guess. And I'm calling the file writer. I created a function called file writer. That's the one that's actually writing the file. And I call it every 1,000 milliseconds. So that's every 1 second. Ryan Lowe, I just saw that. Oh my goodness, I missed your message, Ryan. How's it going? Okay. So it calls file writer every 1,000 milliseconds or every second. And what file writer is doing is it's checking to see how many seconds we're at. If it's less than 59 seconds, then we're adding another second. Okay? That's how I'm like moving the seconds up. If minutes is less than 59, I could increase the number of minutes. So let me go back 1 second. So if second is at 59, then the next second should not be 60 seconds. It should be 1 minute. So we should add on to the minutes. So that's why I check to make sure that seconds is less than 59. And if it's not, if it is 59, or if it's not less than 59, the highest it could be is 59. So if it is 59, then the next second I should increase the minutes, which is what I do on line 22. So I increase minutes by 1. And then I check to make sure that the number, so if that's not the case, if minutes is at 59, then it goes into this else thing. So then I know if I'm not going to increase the number of minutes to 60 minutes. I'm going to go to 1 hour. I'm going to increase the hour. So I basically increase an hour on line 24. I reset minutes on line 25. And then after all that, I reset the number of seconds to 0. Because that's the last thing that needs to happen. Whether we move on to another minute or another hour, we're going to reset the number of seconds anyway. Okay, so after all of that, then what I do is I figured out that when I do it like this, when it saves a number, if you're trying to save the number 07 or 09, it will just save the 7 or the 9. So what I did was I turned the number into a string. So that is what line 29 is. It turns the number into a string. So the hour numbers into a string. It checks the length of that string. So if the length is 1, that means it's a single digit number. So we have to add a 0 in front of it. So the only way it'll be of length 1 is if it's a single digit number, like in the 0 through 9. So if it is, we add a 0 in front. Actually, we got to be careful there. There might be a bug here because let me check what happens if we're at 9 hours. I'll check off the stream. This is already getting a little long. Or maybe I'll check right before I end the stream. Because there could be an issue here where it's at like 9 hours and then, instead of going to 10, it does like 100 or something. All right, whatever. Anyways, if it does detect that it's a single digit, then we add a 0 in front. We concatenate that. We turn that. We take that string, add that number, and add a 0 in front of it, and then I save all of this as a string. And that is what's written to the file. So then I take that. I used a string literal, a template literal. Thanks to Ryan Hawkins, his suggestion. And I write that to the file on line 41, or 41 through 43. So this is, I think this runs asynchronously, but if there's any errors, it'll throw an error. But if there isn't, it'll just save, it'll overwrite the file with the new time. So it'll be like the next second up. And that's it. That's pretty much everything that it does. We are at 2 hours and 52 minutes. I don't know what else I could do here. I don't really, I'm a little tired. I don't really feel like refactoring this or trying to figure out another way to get it working. I'm happy with it working. I'm happy that I could just continue this tomorrow, work on something else, and we'll keep it running. But let me actually test out what happens at like 9 hours. Thank you, Dave. Let me see how my computer's running. My computer's, it's handling it. It's at like, so it looks like it dips down to like 2 gigahertz. So the issue was a couple days ago when I was trying to run this, it kept dipping down to 1 gigabyte, which was like literally killing the computer. It was like on fire. So I'm not using the second monitor right now, and I have the air conditioner on to try to keep the room cool because I was having issues with overheating. All right, let's test it out. Let's see what happens if I do 9 hours and like 59 minutes. 9 hours. Let's see what happens at 59 minutes and, I don't know, 48 seconds we'll start at. So same idea here. Where's my terminal? Okay, I gotta make it a little bit bigger. I gotta change directory into the desktop. And now I could run the, what did I call this? The Countup timer. Okay, so I could close the text file. I'm gonna run it. So 49, 50, 51. Let's make sure that it goes over to 10 hours correctly. 7, 58, 59, 10, perfect. Okay, so we don't have an issue. Now do it all over again backwards. I am way too tired right now to do this over again. But I'm behind pace, Dave. I should be at 6 hours today, and I'm only at 3 after this session. But the timer works, and I could actually display it on the screen. If I just click the thing, you can see that it's running in the background and it's showing on the screen. So at whatever time I finish, that's where I'm going to start off tomorrow. Just 20 more of these sessions, yes. Actually, I'm at 23 hours, so I need 20 of them more. That's crazy when you think about it. Yeah, because there's some days that I'm not going to be able to stream because I have some things coming up. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to. Some days I'm gonna have to try to push myself to do at least 3 or 4 hours, maybe a day, when I do. When I get in the swing of things. I can't even talk right now. I feel like I lost my voice. So this is gonna be very exhausting. Or maybe I have to speak a little bit lower, or maybe turn off the AC or something. 1-to-1. So maybe I'll do a 12-hour session one of these weekends. Maybe in a couple of weekends I'll do like a it'd be cool to do a 12-hour session. It'd be long. Okay, so I think that's it. If I just do Control-C, I stopped it. From now on, I'm gonna have to use this as the. This is what's gonna run my program. I better make sure I don't lose the code or the text file. I mean, if I lose it, I'll have to remake it. But now you can see that it's saved in this text file, and that's what's being displayed on the screen that I could hide just like that. All right, so we're gonna end the stream now, or really soon. I just want to thank you all for watching. I'm gonna stream again tomorrow. Actually, I wonder if I should do this on Twitch tomorrow. I said in the beginning that I was gonna go back and forth, YouTube and Twitch, but I think maybe I'll stick to YouTube. I don't know. Any advice? Any suggestions? I know you're all about like, I don't know, 20 seconds or 30 seconds behind me. I think that's the latency that it has right now. We'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. Never tried Twitch. Maybe I'll just stick to maybe Jazzo. Maybe I'll just stick to YouTube, because YouTube's where I have my audience. you know, and on Twitch it'll just be me. It'll be me by myself. Whereas with YouTube, there might be someone that joins. Some people might join. Thank you, Jazzo, for the suggestion. Yeah, it's true. Although I have seen some people coding on Twitch. But it's like, I don't know about coding. It's like, it's a little tough to like be interesting, I think, as a streaming thing. But I mean, I got to do it now. I have no choice. I just gotta stream. So I will, I think I'll stream tomorrow. Yeah, I'll stream tomorrow. So I'll see you all tomorrow if you decide to join. If not, thank you so much for watching or getting to this point. If you're watching this after the fact, because I'm gonna like upload this stream and just like let it play. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching all almost 3 hours. I mean, I have 2 more minutes to go. Any questions? I guess maybe I'll answer any questions if you have any. About 2 minutes left, and then at 3 hours, I'll stop the stream. One cool little fact is that tomorrow is my birthday. So just to kill some time, fill up some time over here. So I'm going to be streaming on my birthday. That's just nice. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to interact and get questions. Do I have any recommendations for getting started with learning to code? That's a great question. I would say, thank you, Ryan. I would say starting with Scratch might be the best way to start learning like how to figure stuff out with code. So let me show you actually. So if you go to scratch.mit.edu, I used to have a whole bunch of videos, like about 30 videos using Scratch. I'm going to re-release those actually. So I just took them down and I edited them just a little bit for one particular reason, but I'm going to be re-uploading those again. So I would recommend starting with Scratch and starting to create like your own games, your own projects, little simple programs. I don't know if you've ever seen Scratch before, but a lot of the logic and a lot of the thinking is exactly the same as it would be in like JavaScript or Swift or any other programming language. So I'd recommend starting with Scratch, you know, creating a simple game or looking at other people's games and doing that. If you want to learn text-based coding, I think the website I would recommend is Free Code Camp. And Free Code Camp lets you, I'm logged in right now, but you could start with JavaScript over here in Free Code Camp, and it kind of it gives you like a lesson along the left side of the screen, and then on the right side you do your code, and then you see the output on the bottom right. So if you want to like start with text-based coding, maybe Free Code Camp would be the way to go. Yeah, I like Free Code Camp. On the way that I learned JavaScript was actually in the summer of 2014. My friend told me to get Head First JavaScript. So this book is how I originally learned JavaScript like about 6 summers ago. And I spent the whole summer, almost every single day, doing JavaScript for like 2 or 3 hours. So I was doing this book. It's like, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 pages. And I mean, I highly recommend it. And this is how this created the foundation for me to learn everything else that I've learned afterwards. So JavaScript programming, Head First, is the book that I would recommend. No problem, Jazzo. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know if Ryan, you're still in there. Thank you for the shout out before, Ryan Lowe. All right, so I'm going to end the stream. Actually, I can't even see what the time is. What time we have over here? We're at 3 hours, 1 minute, and like 30 seconds or so. So thank you all for watching. I will catch you next time.